by the way.
Tonight, what do we got going? We got things on Uber Teen free rides. This is ridiculous. We got DoorDash in a fake bump on their stock. We got of course some Waymo stuff, but we always try and keep it a little fresh. We got Instacart did a on top of their performance, and you guys know I hate them, but on top of that, they actually did it like a really good move. Sean's got a story about deactivations in Illinois. We got a second sexual assault case being tried in the thousands of sexual assault cases on the Uber docket. This one will definitely, after the last one, tell a lot. We have an Uber suing insurance companies. There's a couple scams. They've been going on for a while, but this is getting ridiculous. No wonder they knew this would be so high this year. Right on the other side. What's up, you guys? Welcome to Thursday Night Live with Sean and I. So welcome, Sean.
Hey, y'all.
This is wrong all the time. This way, towards the wall. I know, or I actually just towards my mic. By the way, if you guys never noticed, I told Sean this. I said, we actually have a pretty cool setup sometimes when it's like this, because it looks like the same bars in the middle of our screens and we're feeding off the same thing.
There we go.
Anyway, guys, we do have a lot to talk about tonight. How far we'll get into everything, I don't know, but as always, we can readdress it. What's up, everybody in the chat? How you guys all doing? Gig wise, what's up, Tim? What's some newer and less known gig apps we can talk about? DD, blah, UE, blah. Yeah, but dude, Sean and I never ever show you tips and tricks or how to put a bag at a door, dude. This is not, this, Tim. Come on, man. I'm saying, like, if we're talking about DD, it's about legislative stuff and things that people should know, problems that they're having that are public even. But I also know Tim's a jokester.
But in all fairness, if anybody didn't see my live stream last week this on Tuesday, I actually did do a DoorDash tip. So at the very beginning, so you can move to a minute 30 seconds and go see that tip, guys.
But his point is he doesn't. Come on, I don't want to hear about it. Okay, well, dude.
but he might want this tip. It's different than anything he's ever seen. But anyway.
Yeah, maybe the tip is don't do it, Tim. Maybe you'll like that one. But anyway, this is where I see Danny. Hey, Danny, and thank you very much for that super chat. I see your post, and I had a little bit of a day, and yes, I posted a short. I do need to get into that because it also ties into something. I mean, I don't need to get into that, but I'm going to mention it. But I'm also going to mention something else that happened where, you guys know, I used to do Driver Nation with Tom Kelly. It was a radio show out of Houston. We did it from 2021 to 2023. And it was every Friday night. And it was for long haul truckers, nationwide truckers, who, when they were in between gigs or in between nationwide long hauls, that they would go home and spend time with their family, but they would also do some gig work in their family car or whatever. So it was really 101 stuff. It was kind of a call-in show, and it was great. I mean, it was a ton of fun, but I got to know a lot of the truckers. Truckers are like, I already knew this. I have some family members that are. I'm from Michigan. I know that community. They're great people. I mean, literally all of them have a story that would blow your mind. They're not just these people that got into trucking. They all have a story, and it's all intense. Anyway, long story being short, there is national media out everywhere. And I was telling Sean before the show, you can just Google trucking industry illegal. If you Google that, the first page of your Google search will be all of the mainstream news articles, probably from the last 24, if not 72 hours, for the first few pages, even on how bad it is. In fact, there's a few different levels of what they're doing. Because there's illegal truckers. We've all seen this news. It doesn't matter what news you watch or if you don't watch any news, but you've still seen it on YouTube, whatever. There are illegal truckers all over. California is one of the worst for certifying them. We have them here. They're all over. They in some states they get arrested. In some states they can't. We're dealing with a lot of stuff right now, but owner operated independent truckers. So that means just like we are, even though some of you maybe don't call it that, we are independent contractors. Hopefully you all filed your taxes, so you know that. By listing, we are independent contractors. You are a business owner. How far you take advantage of that, that's up to you. But nonetheless, we are. And I was asked because of the lawmakers who are pushing to get all of these TikTok sales done, the Facebook shut down, and on top of that, prosecute everybody. And by the way, the more I talked with some people about this, it does sound like what they're really trying to do with the illegal accounts from illegals, because we talk about there's different kinds. Tonight, I'm going to be a little more specific here in the beginning, then we'll move on. But because there's illegal accounts from illegals in this country who are not paying taxes on those accounts and using somebody else's info, there's a ton of problems in that one to unpack. But let's stick with what we do know. What I do know from the lawmakers is, yes, they do want to get those shut down, absolutely. But they're actually going to go after people who have had accounts, who are citizens here, who have had accounts, who are now using fraudulent accounts. Because for whatever reason, that's an easier mark for them, I guess, because they're thinking is, and these are the lawmakers I've been talking with, they're bringing new ideas to me. It's not just my idea anymore. And I think the thinking there is that, like, these people knew what the hell they were doing. If they got deactivated and went and bought an account, they have no claim to say, I didn't do it. And I get that, because guess what? We're still going to have to flip the tab on a lot of these illegals using illegal accounts, because they can't ever track them down and hold them accountable for anything. So again, even if some people believe you can't be arrested if you're illegal, that's not true. Those times are changing. Like, you definitely can get in trouble. And it's not just a rotating door. It's still not as difficult as it should be. But if you are a tax-paying American for the past however many years, this is where you're from, or you've been here for a while. None of us are from here, but you've been here a long time, if not your whole life. You know the system. You had a legal account. You got deactivated. You went out and got a fake account, but your ass might be hung out to dry, because that's what, they were telling me all kinds of stuff that I was like, you're just literally adding on things now, like, and they're big things. It's not like they're trying to find enough. They're piling on mass, like wire fraud, interstate or multi-state stuff, and like tax fraud. Like, they really want to nail your ass to the wall if you are a deactivated tax-paying citizen. I don't know how else to put it. It's sad, because I feel like the repercussions should be equal across the board. Legal, not
Absolutely.
legal, but it's not going to be. They're going to take it out on the people here much harder.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, I don't know if you have
any
thoughts on that.
They're easier to get to. That's the problem with it, is they're going for the low-hanging fruit, and that's what's going to happen with it. So, and you know what, like you said, Steve, that's on them. If they engage in those kind of activities, I know desperate people do desperate things, but come on, there's better ways to do that.
Yeah. No, yeah. The problem too is that, like we were talking about last week, we have people who are getting tax forms. We already knew this, but we played some news clips. We've done all that. But now they're going back and finding out, for whatever reason, they didn't hear about it, but they've got 3 years of the back taxes, and they can't challenge to. Of course they can, like we said before, but they have to hire attorneys and stuff. This is not just sign here that it wasn't you, and we'll just take care of it. It actually
Right.
has become their burden.
Yeah. Which
Like,
that's
well,
not the
it's your
right way at
account
all.
used, it's your, and they're even saying the right things. Well, show me that's not even where I live. That seems
Right.
like a really easy interconnect right there. Okay, his phone was
Right.
never out of this state. He went to work every day, and the
Exactly.
account's being used 3 states over. However,
Right.
as easy as that sounds to all of us, it doesn't matter, because in the end, uh, the taxes have
You're
to be
guilty.
paid.
Yeah, but
And you're going
until
to have
proven
to
innocent.
hire an attorney. It's not as easy as just going, hey, listen, it wasn't me, and here's how I can prove it. They're going to say, well, that's now a court case for at least the 2 expired years. If you catch this one within the 90-day grace period that they were talking about, so somewhere like whatever that would be, like in June, July, you can catch that and say, this wasn't me. Maybe you don't have to hire an attorney. But the fact that this many people will is just
Right.
sickening to me. It really is. I don't know how else to put it. It's just sickening.
Yeah.
And it's wrong in every way. But what I did really want to mention about the Danny comment is that I did put a short up today. Absolutely. And so today I went into a place. I was doing a catering. I'm there often. I will say this to you. First of all, if anybody watching it, I'm not going down the road of explaining to you what illegals are like. Come live in Denver, do some gig work, and you'll see for yourself in the first day. The first day, you will see half of the people, if not close, are not legal. I'm not going to even go down the rabbit hole farther than that. I have enough to know what is going on. My lawmakers know. We all know. We talk about it openly.
Yeah.
But if I'm not going to do it to a point where somebody's trying to spin something here, and there's extreme sides on this, but I'm just telling you, it's not even a guess. The customers know. The restaurants know. I know. The other gig workers know. We all know. But I went to a place that I frequent sometimes, or for catering, I've been there a few times, and it has a hostess when you walk in, a greeter, and then it has a little bar, and I'm not going to name the place, but decent place. Walk in there, and I'm not there for a DoorDash, I'm there for a catering, so I'm waiting. But then I see the thing we all know and hate the most, right? I see the dreaded the phone go up into the person's face. Yep. And guys, like, I wouldn't have acted on that, because I see that 50 times a day. I would love to act on those and say, excuse me, if I did that in your country, you'd punch me in the face. Knock it the fuck
Right.
off. But I don't even say anything about it, because I know what a problem it is. It's like, what am I going to do? Say this to half of the drivers? I mean, you really have to pick your battles. But this one,
Right.
the person took the phone, shoved it in the hostess's face. And I think there's a little miscommunication there on what I mean by shove. It wasn't like it got, and she was like, I can't see it. I can't see it. And he got so close that he touched her. He actually went poof and hit her in the first movement towards her face. She fell backwards and hit the cabinet. She did not fall down, but she fell against a cabinet, like waist height behind her, that she hit, and like on her back. And she's like, damn, what the? And so when all this went down, that's just how quick it went down. I said, you get the hell out of here now. I opened the door and I said, out. And then the manager was right there too. He came out from the back. And as I walked out there, the manager came out and I said, this asshole right here. So I didn't say illegal. I said asshole, because anybody that would, and by the way, 19-year-old girl hostess, 19. I'm sorry that I already talked to Tony, the Driven Dad, about this. And it's funny because I said, he thought the same as me. Obviously we live in the same market. He knows how bad it is. And he was like, I get why you did it. He's like, cause it could have been your kid. I'm like, it's actually exactly what I thought. I was like, I could hear the father of this 19-year-old girl going, please kick this guy's ass. I'm not there to do it. And I was like, okay. Like, I just had it. I'd had it. I'm sick of this shit. That is crossing a line where I will get involved. That's me running a bar though. I used to do that nightly in a bar, not for a phone, but for other disrespectful things, about grabbing a bartender or whatever, like getting physical. But this time the person went, I mean, again, I watched this 50 times a day. He hit her in the nose. I'm sorry. I can't just sit there. I can't. I'm not somebody who loses my cool over this. If I'm talking to lawmakers about this, trust me, you guys, or at least try and understand that point, because if lawmakers don't want to hear you just ranting about stuff, they want to hear you composed, even if you went through something hard.
Yep.
So, or else they're not going to listen as well. So I'm used to telling this in a very calm way, but what I saw, I would be appalled if any one of you didn't do what I did or some version of it. If any of you, I even think most of the women watching would have done something or listening on the audio. I think that you guys would, I think, even if it wasn't, again, I'm not saying you had to do what I did, but everybody would have done something. You had to be there kind of thing, but everybody would have done something. Fact. It just is.
Yep.
But so I at least wanted to put that out there. I'm not looking to cause a problem, but I am working with lawmakers to get rid of these illegals, these illegal accounts. That means illegal accounts used by citizens. That means illegal accounts used by illegals. I don't really give a shit anymore. I just want all of them gone.
Right.
Because both parties are both guilty of not paying taxes. And therefore, you're screwing other people up. You're screwing up my taxes.
Right.
Because all of us take the weight of that.
And they're slowly destroying the rest of the platform too, with the, accepting these $2 orders and everything else. So it's screwing up wages, it's screwing up the taxes, it's screwing up everything. They got to go.
Yeah. I mean, they really do. And also, to bring some light to something, I just switched insurance companies for the first time since I know that in 99, I was with the same company that I just switched from. I'm just going to say it was Allstate. Maybe one day I'll even tell the story because it's worth telling, because it really upset me. Because I'm pretty much a lifer at 26, 27 years in with Allstate. I just switched to a cheaper platform. And when I did, I went into all my apps to re-up my documents, do all that kind of stuff. I went into DoorDash and I forgot that DoorDash doesn't really have anything on me.
Doesn't ask,
and
right.
So what I did was I went to a Reddit post and I saw what you had to do. They just said, go in and delete your vehicle and then add another. I said, okay. Because I had my registration and my VIN. I'm like, I can do that. And I know that some apps, Rodeo even told me before I did it with DoorDash, Rodeo told me when I was resetting theirs, they said, just delete the car and re-add the car. And I said, the same car with the same VIN though? And they said, it'll approve instantly. And I said, will you stay on the phone with me? And Rodeo actually has good support. And he did. He stayed on the phone. I did it. I deleted. I said, cool, man. He said, yeah, you're good. So, because that always worries me some. But I went into DoorDash. I deleted it. When Rodeo made me re-enter it, it said, what's the VIN? It pulled up the car. I don't know if that's from the database of me doing it or what. I know other places can do that too. But then I had to put in my driver's license, all this other stuff. But when I went in for DoorDash, I hit delete and I hit add new car. I told them I had what year and model and make I had. It did not ask me for a VIN. It did not ask me for registration. And it just said, your vehicle has been added. Make sure you carry your insurance with you. Now, it had been years since I had been through this process. I mean, because I got onto DoorDash in 2020, 21 kind of thing, somewhere in there. It was for Para, but I don't remember it at all. But again, I was blown away at the fact of like, all you need is me to put in my name and any given birthday that I decide and just a blue RAV4. That was enough for you. You're good with that. No VIN, no registration. And then it ended with, and again, I have to say that, look, I mean, we technically are independent contractors. They shouldn't be holding our information. So there's a catch there.
But also, let's flip this around. If I'm in charge of risk management for DoorDash, I think it's a smart strategy because you got plausible deniability. You put the disclaimer there saying, hey, make sure you got everything that you need to have. But, and you're old enough to drive, so you're old enough to make these decisions. If I was DoorDash, I think that's an appropriate move. Now, for the industry, is it an appropriate move? Hell no. It just bastardizes the whole thing doing stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah. And I just think it's funny though, like how all the apps have their issues, but DoorDash is just like literally DoorDash doesn't have anything. Like I could go on board to 4 others and they're going to ask me for a VIN, maybe not insurance. One's going to ask me for insurance, maybe not a VIN. They're all going to have their missing pieces, but they're doing something.
Right.
Like DoorDash is just like, what's your fake name? Cool. What do you drive?
Right.
Cool. And now that makes a ton of sense to me why I see expired paper tags everywhere.
Right.
Because they don't even know you're driving an expired car. In fact, when I did it, it didn't, when it about the registration thing, it just said year and make and model. It didn't even ask anything about the vehicle that would be licensed with the state. So they don't know what I could have put, I'm driving a green tank that says US Army on the side.
Right.
You know, they still would have just put me on, dude. I mean, like, that's how stupid it is, though.
Yeah.
You know, like, I'm just saying, like, it's amazing. Like, you gotta, even if it's just for the verification, you got to do something, dude.
Well, and I think that just drives home the point about what we say about the lack of regulation on this and the need for it. Should you have to do that? Should you have to tell them that? No, but because they do every little damn thing they can to get away from everything they possibly can, they got to be babysat and regulated. And we got government overreach everywhere else. Why don't you go reach a little bit government into the to making these platforms better?
Yeah, for sure. And so now we roll into this. Who else showed up? What's up, Jaded? I hope you're still here. Good to see you. And Bubba Sue and Tim and Drone is in here, and Bud Soda and Kevin Hawthorne and Amy and Traveler and Terry. And did I miss anybody? I don't think so. And yeah, I mean, obviously, you guys, we got a great number here. I don't know if Sean sees it on his side too, but we're on LinkedIn and X, and we got 62 people across the platforms right now. I don't know how many are in his room, but that's a lot of people.
Yeah,
and I do know that the LinkedIn comments now do not work. I finally found out. And when I actually talked to StreamYard, when they do get it working, they even already told me, they said, but when we get it working, because it was a function, but now it's just not working, but they're going to fix it. When it does, they said it'll go back to what it was. And I said, I really don't know what it was. And they said, it'll show a comment, but it won't show an avatar or a name.
Like, oh, well, that's wonderful.
I'm like, that's so worthless, dude. Like, hi, anonymous. Hi, anonymous. And they're not anonymous. They're sitting on their end going, dude, it says my name right here.
That's ridiculous. Bring the two chats together down below if you get a second on that. It seems like people it helps with the
I forget to do that on
interaction. Thursday. There we go.
What did we say? Medium font was good or big?
Look at that. We're literally
that's
medium.
Big. That's medium.
Okay. We're literally bringing people together, Steve.
See, again, guys, nothing against the illegals, except because this country's always had them. And you're supposed to come here correctly, but we've always had the illegals. Everybody better understand that this is not like any other time in history, though. There has never been anything like this. In my lifetime, I think in Sean, in my lifetime, we've never seen anything like this. So,
right.
But okay. Oh, I got the gig stocks ready. Just because I moved it from the podcast to for Thursdays for us, because they're all little overperforming, especially DoorDash, because DoorDash made that autonomous BS jump that we'll get into, but it still looks like they're in the same order. We'll go from best performer to worst as we do. And so we still have Instacart in the lead. We use the 6-month tally. So in the past 6 months, Instacart is up 7.5%. Coming in at a strong second at a negative 17.34%, we got the Uber. And batting hard, still hanging in there, barely. We got Lyft. Look at Lyft's. You can see it in the chat. Look at Lyft's little up crawl there. Look at it trying so hard.
It's trending upward so hard.
And then, of course, in last place, but you will see a major improvement here because it only says negative 32%. I think last week we were up to, it was just last week that we were up to 49% that they had lost. They gained back like 8.2% because of this autonomous crap, which I'm shocked at because, again, there's no infrastructure. There's nothing happening. They cost a ton of money. The investors aren't blind anymore. I don't know why they're still falling for this crap. And I even went down a rabbit hole and looked into the fact that, I might even have it here. Wait, no, I don't have it there. I thought I did. But so even the hedge fund people, though, it had a breakdown. It said, this many people are hedging. This many people have left hedging this one. And that hadn't gone up, which I thought it would. Less people are hedging DoorDash now.
You missed one. Joby Aviation, they're up.
Right. I mean, at this rate, they'll be delivering all the food too.
Well,
they'll just kind of be flying over you and throwing it down.
Who's going to close those doors? Who's going to close the doors for
them? There's an idea, a VTOL with a restaurant in it that just lands in your yard.
Oh, dude.
There's
an airplane restaurant in Centennial and there's one down here in Colorado Springs. It's a new version of that.
Yeah. So tonight though, I am going to share a couple things. So like, while I say that, I'm at least going to put it in here for you guys, into the chat. So if you guys want to look into some of these articles, because I'm not going to get real far into it. I just wanted you to know that they're banking on drone delivery too. We've seen drone everywhere. It doesn't work. I mean, this one, other than VTOL, even like it doesn't work. Everything screws up the drones. Everything. They don't work.
Yep.
And it's gross too. Like, who would want their food? I don't know. I don't even want to go there. But I put the link in there and I said DoorDash shares jump. That's kind of what we were talking about here. And then I move into this. This pissed me off so big time. As we've been free of Uber Teen, Uber is offering teens up to 3 free rides during prom season to help ensure safe transportation to and from events. Sean, you need to talk about this one because I literally...
Look, man, I'm going to say the same thing that you're going to say. This is just stupid all around, and the risk. I mean, the insurance risk. Oh, yeah, let's have some Uber driver pick up some inebriated freaking teenager, you know, and that's gonna, and then they're gonna be puking all over in your car. I mean, come on, we were all teenagers and made bad life choices, but we didn't have freaking Uber. We stumbled our way down to our friend's house, and or probably just stayed there anyway. Now we're giving them rides to wherever the hell they want to go party again at, because what I saw, there's no freaking limitations about where to take them. It's just free rides.
Yeah,
so they
just
go to
free
prom,
rides.
go to the party, and then go to the party after the party.
Or not even. If you look, it's not even prom. It doesn't even need to be prom. It could be on a different weekend that you're using 3 rides because it's saying during prom season.
Fair enough.
So basically they're saying because of prom season, but literally I guarantee they're giving every Uber Teen account 3 free rides.
Look, this whole thing, me and teen rides and everything just annoys the hell out of me anyway. Parents, start parenting your freaking kids. Uber, stop parenting people's kids.
Yeah. Hey, thank you, Sean. I appreciate that.
That's what I got to say on that.
And Bubba Sue says this. She said, "Who the hell wants to go to prom in an Uber?" I mean, I'm with you there. I mean, and what kind of Uber is this? Like, I would have Jeff, Mike Drop Barbecue, or Sean or something in a clean car, but I'm not just going to call an Uber and put in a code.
Right.
On prom night. I mean, I drove for Denver Limousine for a couple of years. A lot of you know that. So when I first started, the dude who runs the place, well, we've had our differences, but Omar, what up? But But he made me start with limo rides during prom season.
Oh, jeez.
That was like, I mean, I didn't really mind at the time. Again, I was fully bonded, certified, everything. And those even were go and pick up the kids at a house. The parents were coming
Right.
out and meeting me.
Yep. Because they're taking
I
pictures in
couldn't,
front of the
I can tell you
limo.
this, I couldn't have
Yeah.
taken my app and shoved it in the parents' face.
Right.
That would have gone real bad.
Yeah.
I can guarantee you every parent would have knocked me out.
Right.
Not only would not let the kids get in, but they'd have knocked me out for that one. Are you kidding me? What is this?
Right.
So,
yeah.
But again, yeah, thank you, Sean. Thank you, Danny, too, as well. I appreciate that. It's nice. But I hate this. I hate this. I hate this. We haven't even, I haven't seen Uber Teen in the news. I don't know. I haven't, like, normally I'm used to picking on Milan. Hey, Lisa, thank you. Appreciate you too. Depends on the Uber car. What do you mean? But again, Tim, even like, first of all, it's just a bad idea. Kids shouldn't be in it. But second of all,
right.
Like, I first of all, or I guarantee these coupons are for UberX. They're not giving you sedan ride, or they're not giving you Lux, and
right.
There's no way, because then the parents would find a way to use the kid rides.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Exactly. But I hate this.
Now,
I hate this. It reminds me of the
I,
Uber Teen commercials that were about a year or so ago, that were really promoting it with these parents making it look like, of course you're safe, go.
Right.
You know, like, at least they ended those. I feel like this is just as bad. You like, this is newsworthy, and the news putting this out should be ashamed, by the way. It's a lot of outlets, but you guys should be ashamed.
They got a lot of
things
to be ashamed about, bro.
They got a lot to be ashamed of. They do. Yeah, they do. Absolutely. But so,
does anybody think this is a good idea in the chat while we're wrapping this up?
Sean, I don't think I've ever had anybody in a chat when I'm talking. That is one thing that is a common bond. At least nobody's like said, I'm going to say what I think. Even so, if any of you are out there thinking it, please put it in there. And again, I'll only respect you for doing it, but just, I mean, don't do it to be a troll. But if you have a reason, please let me know. I would love to hear one reason. But all I see are things that I'm seeing, like Traveler just put. That's what I see all the time. No kids ever.
Exactly.
Like, there's no two ways about it. So we're just talking about a dead subject. It's not dead though, because it's in the news. It's ridiculous.
Right.
One thing for sure, I can't see that anybody with a kid would ever argue this. No way.
Well, okay, but dude, we get people. I had one yesterday, and I've literally dealt with this lady 3 times now, where she has a toddler and is trying to get them in my Uber ride, and it's like, no, and she got done playing the, I don't speak English thing, because I speak enough Spanish to get by, and so she didn't even do that this time. I'm like, you know the drill. And she's like, oh, cancels the ride and then guarantees she ordered another one.
Yeah.
So there's bad parents out there, bro. We know that.
I mean, I can tell you that even around here, because of the price of the rides, and I use it to get to venues and stuff that I might need to for other work, I can tell you that I am disgusted by some of the rides I take.
Yeah.
Now, again, for the fact that the rates are up, it is really odd that, like, I can usually find a deal. Like, I get downtown pretty cheap, and I'm not using coupons or anything. I'm just opening the app, and they're like, oh, like, if I look at it, because I don't even have Lyft Pass as a passenger anymore. I just have Uber.
Yeah.
I used to have both to compare, but so I don't even have Lyft on there anymore, just Uber. So if I close it and I reopen it, it's not the old days where it went up. It's like it'll go down half and be like, it looks like we're going to have to bargain with shopping.
You. Yeah.
And I think that's a lot because of, like, again, I think this thrash to the bottom is a bad idea. I think that people like me taking the service are getting to that point where, like, even I, who will continue using it, because I can chat with just about anybody. I might be disgusted by you. I'm even going to tip you because I won't use the service unless I tip you.
Yeah.
It won't be as much as I would tip a
Right.
clean, good driver, but I'm going to tip. And that's just me, you know, like, and once I feel like I am never going to tip again on Uber, I will stop using Uber. I don't believe
Yeah.
I'm not going to just have the drivers get ripped off, but at the same time, I think Uber's let the service become just crap. Like to
Right.
the tone of, we all used to care about our cars. They smelled good. We cleaned them. All our laundry wasn't in the back. We didn't live in them. And I
Right.
understand Denver's expensive and the illegal problem is out of control. I get it. I get
Yep.
that a lot of people are doing urban van life here now. And I almost think that's one of the stupidest things I see all over, because the places that they gentrify them to are some of the most unsafe places that I know of. I'm in
Yep.
those like B2B parks a lot doing curry and stuff. And I know, and I see like lines of them. I mean,
Yep.
it's nuts, you guys, but so we have some Waymo slides. I meant to bring this onto the podcast and on Monday, and I forgot. So there is a bunch of stuff going around with Waymo right now. So California bill aims to put more human operators on robotaxis like Waymo's. This is really important because they're saying, like, so just in a nutshell here, the legislative push, which Waymo described as potentially crippling, comes after the company's chief safety officer sparked outrage for admitting in U.S. Senate testimony that the crucial human helpers it relies on live in the Philippines. You can say they work from the Philippines too. You don't have to say they just live there. They work from there too.
Right.
The admission comes as lawmakers grilled the company after one of its vehicles struck a child. You know, and then I think there was, what is the more story? The parts I wanted to tell you guys. So this bill would require autonomous companies to hire remote drivers and assistants based on the U.S. Or based in the U.S. and licensed, in this case, in California. So you're going to have to be a California driver under this to be able to be a Waymo remote safety driver. And I think that's an awesome idea. I mean, California doesn't have a lot of these, so I got to give them some props, man.
Right.
Then was there any more to this that I wanted to? So Waymo currently operates 3,000 vehicles nationwide, with roughly 30 other companies having pending permit applications. Those permits are not legal either, guys. They are not like, hey, this permit allows us to legally operate like a rideshare company. They're basically permits that you buy for 100 times what a rideshare company would have to pay because you're not operating legally. So Waymo and other industry representatives said they've already addressing similar safety requirements. Industry lobbyists, now we get into the lobbyist stuff and all that. But obviously the replies from the company are not good. They don't obviously want this.
Bring that back up. There's one more important point on this. So in that next to last paragraph says that human operators will be required to respond to emergency personnel within 30 seconds and move a vehicle if instructed within 2 minutes.
Yes.
That right there is that's huge, man. That needs to be implemented everywhere.
And I'm glad you brought that up, that I didn't skip over that, because that was the push from like all different departments are pushing on this. The people, but that's the fire department. That's the police department. They're sick of this crap, dude.
Right.
Like, no, you can't just stay head to head forever blocking an intersection. Sorry. We don't really care. Right. I'm with you, dude. We know that they talked to the fire chief, and I don't know if you guys remember I played the segment on here about a year ago, and he was in San Francisco when they were really pushing to get him out of the city. And I don't know if you guys are remembering, but not only were they having trouble with the sirens and the basics that they still do, and they shouldn't, but for some reason they were always parking behind or like on the where a fire truck would come out of the firehouse.
Oh, geez.
Like they would block those. And when there was a fire and they needed to go, they needed the cars to go. And the fire chief had expressed, he had said that, they had done like some dances to get the truck out before they'd done this and that. Now he on the video I played, he said, I've given all of my drivers of the trucks permission to just ram it full steam.
Perfect.
I mean, so they now see it. I mean, you don't walk up to it and push it. That's not. So he's telling them gun it and just hit them, just take them out.
Sounds like a good job for the battalion chief. I mean, they don't do much other than take scene command anyway. So they give them a winch on their truck and yank that freaking thing out of the way.
Yeah, but I guess the point is, why should we taxpayers have to pay to keep the fire trucks updated that wouldn't be beat up if it weren't for them having to ram Waymos?
I think it should be a $20,000 fine every time they have an incident, just blocking the way, period, regardless.
Yeah. What was this one? Oh, so I saw that Lucid is putting in more money now too. That's another, dude, all of these companies seem to be coming up with money I don't think exists other than on books. I'm starting to fully question all of it.
Right.
Because I saw the Uber thing, and I think we're going to get to that, but 10 billion, they're putting 10 billion towards getting, and it's a pretty straightforward article. Again, if you Google Uber, you'll see this one come up all over. Again, this is a main piece right now, even in mainstream. But they're basically saying that they're talking about eliminating the drivers. If you dive into those articles, you got to go through a bunch to look at the reality of it, though. But again, it's like talking about, I feel like the articles, and we all know they do this, so of course, but it's really bad. They're talking about, we're going to put in 10 billion, but it makes it sound like we just did it and now the drivers are done. That's not at all what's happening. These are being bought over 30 years or so. I mean, this 10 billion doesn't even have to exist yet. I don't know how else to say it.
Uber just keeps buying up every little chunk of autonomous market that it can.
And that's the part about the DoorDash thing that was really confusing me, was I don't get how anybody is supposed to believe that drones and $110,000 dots are going to replace a dasher that does a $2 no tip dash.
Right.
I mean, cost, yes, but cleanup, maintenance, replacement, because they get taken and beaten. And this is no joke. The drones are a joke. They can barely take a Happy Meal, even on their best test efforts. So it's like, this isn't real. Like, nobody's, if you have 4 Happy Meals, you're not going to send 4 drones.
Right.
This Mr. Rodeo, we want to see you. I don't even know what this is. Drive. I'm always driving.
He's always out there.
Yeah.
Every day.
The teen, what are you saying though? The teens I get are mostly 17-year-old men from school. I don't know how long you've been doing this, TR, but you might remember that they used to pay us to cancel those rides for forever. From the beginning until 2023, they paid us to cancel unaccompanied minors. But the burden is fully on the burden is fully on you doing it now, by the way. Uber does not have your back. That is 100% on you.
Right. They'll still pay you. It's a small fee, but you have to sit there, in Uber's case, for 7 freaking minutes and wait for the clock to run out and then hit cancel. Then you say unaccompanied minor. The same thing with Lyft. Now you get like $3 or $4 with Lyft. You don't get as much for the 5 minutes that you have to wait for them. So you can still get paid, but you got to sit there and wait that clock out. So that's a whole lot of opportunity to create a whole lot of hostility and everything else. They got to do better with that too.
Yeah, no, absolutely, man. And so then we have I hate good Instacart stories. I don't know why. I should love it, right? At this point, with everything as screwed up as it is, I should be like, sweet, a good story. But I just hate it being Instacart. I just do. It's just me. But Instacart acquired a company. You got to look twice when you read this, because it's called InstaLeap. So it's like, wait, what? Like, No joke. They're that close in name. Instacart bought Instaleap. Instaleap has 30 countries from South America over to Europe and other things. So they have 30 countries. They just did I mean, this isn't one of those dumb expansions or this isn't one of those things where I'm like, why? This is stupid. To me, this totally makes sense. It's like, this actually looks like a real move by a real company. If I didn't know better, I wouldn't know they were a gig company at the moment.
That they were, yeah, okay.
They're actually doing moves like a real company. I don't even know what else to say about it. But yeah, so we have all that. And then Sean is going to tell us something about going on in Illinois. This is what you guys, anytime I ever wonder, what are we going to talk about this week? It literally, when it comes down to putting it together, it is literally discarding what we're not going to talk about.
Right.
Because it's just so you know, there's never an end to the worry or the what we could bring out in a night.
Right.
We would be here 5 hours.
Yeah. It just goes on and on. I mean, like this thing in Illinois, and there's a lot of components to this. So what it comes down to is this gal got deactivated she uploaded her new driver's license. Okay. And they claimed that it was a fraudulent driver's license. So on the surface, that's like, well, what the hell? Come on, do better, Uber, and this and that. But then you start looking into it a little bit more, and Uber says, no, it wasn't AI, it was human reviewed. Okay, well, that's when you start seeing and hearing more of this, well, what the hell, Uber? Is that so this single mother, the news, puts this great little sad story on it, but there's everybody has a story that's been deactivated, whether it's real or not. But she had a special story, and ABC7 in Chicago did a report on it, and she got deactivated over uploading her new driver's license, as I said before. And the thing is, though, it was that paper driver's license you get while you're waiting for your new one with your picture. So okay, I can kind of see that. So she uploaded, it got denied, and then of course, instead of trying to talk to a human, she just submits it again, and then it gets denied again. This whole thing turns into a big crap show. So there's a whole lot of components to this. Is that, why is it getting triggered and activated so quickly that she got deactivated and is losing income? This single mother, and there's no consequences to Uber for it. They just go, oops, we made a mistake come into the day. That's bullshit. Because, this poor lady's out there, and this is the way she makes her living, is doing Uber. And so we got that problem. And then Uber says it wasn't AI, it was humans. Well, why couldn't she have a conversation with the human to clear this up? So meanwhile, this is, again, Uber not giving a crap about the drivers, because there are plenty of them, and plenty of real fake, fraudulent people in there. They can't screen them out, but they can screen out a lady that has a legitimate issue, because she's waiting for her permanent new driver's license. So how do we fix this is what I really I mean, to me, I think it's easy is we get people who, number one, that their first, when you have an issue like this, their native language needs to be whatever that person that they're speaking with. So here in America, they should have English as a first, as their first language.
Or I honestly I've said this before. I do believe that there could be a way to have a Spanish driver and Spanish community that can request a Spanish ride. Put those guys together.
Absolutely. Right. Yeah. I mean, same thing with Arabic. The same. You have there's
anything.
Major.
If you have enough of a population of it.
Absolutely, Steve. I mean, in fact, in Colorado, for like when the TNCs, Uber, Lyft, Colorado, Rideshare, they all have to put their deactivation policies in the top 5. I think it's 5 languages that within the top portion of their drivers of what they have for drivers. So why not do that? If you really want to care about your drivers, then support your drivers. That's a great point, Steve.
Yeah.
Show that diversity. But the other
And
simple way to
even the other way that we just said, like the Spanish with the Spanish, don't put a Spanish rider even they'd prefer to have the Spanish driver too. They don't want me or
right,
Sean.
right.
So again, I might end up taking them because if they don't
Well,
have a Spanish one near and I'm what's going to happen, that's fine. But I mean, during really hectic times, but I mean, if you are able to do it.
Well, that's not true because the Spanish writers, they really love me stumbling around speaking Spanish to them. We have a lot of
Oh yeah,
fun with it.
all you people who chop up Spanish are worse than just not
Yes,
speaking it at
my
all.
my Spanglish is worse than their
Thank you,
English
Torp.
Spanish.
Appreciate that.
So what's up, Torp? How you doing, brother? But yeah, there's a lot of problems with this, Stephen. The simple answer is actually, how about you connect to the DMVs of these jurisdictions that you're working in? I mean, they have access to everything else data wise. Why don't you do something useful and be able to just verify that they have an active driver's license at any point in time? And if there's a driver's license suspension, that goes out to Uber and Lyft and everything else in the world. Because if you get suspended out at DIA at Denver Airport for doing cash rides or something else, there's an email gets sent out to every. So if I tried to do a cash ride, convert a cash ride on Uber, and then I got caught out in Denver, they suspend you from the airport and they send it to all three of the, well, actually more. They send it out to every TNC in Colorado, say they're not allowed on Denver Airport. So why the hell can't we do that with the DMVs and to make this poor lady be able to get back to work like that?
I honestly think I every time we hit on these type issues, I keep more and more thinking about the self background checks, the token, whether it be phantom or an actual token RF reader like London uses kind of thing, whatever it might be. I actually see more value in it and more ways to increase even other things. Like after we started hearing about some of the tax fraud, I was like, well, hell, this thing could also do like make sure that your social isn't being used 5 times on DoorDash.
Right.
Because guys, we look again, I honestly believe this RICO case, when it opens, I think we're going to hear all the things and then some we've been talking about. And I don't think that they're going to be like, we need to figure this out. They're going to know all of this. And they're going to be like, why are you on the platform? But look, your numbers over here. And they're going to go to DoorDash, and they're going to say, why do you have 7 instances of this social security number active?
Right.
Because again, DoorDash can claim a lot I don't know, it was the algorithm and it's kind of out of control. I don't know. Who knows? Ask the algorithm. And that's
right.
What their goal is. Their goal is that's why you see a lot of these call centers and stuff shutting down so that there isn't a supervisor. I mean, a lot of gig apps, good luck getting somebody on the phone. You know what I mean? Like, no way you're going to get somebody on the phone.
This is
honestly, like if you were shot, first of all, you're going to call 911, but you can't even get them on the phone for that. I mean, it's out of control. It is out of control. We can't keep going down a path where fake AI is going to be the customer service and it's going to be the start and the end of the customer service experience.
Right. Now, in this news report, she says she talked to them probably 8 times, called 8 times. Now, it doesn't mean she got anybody, but again, each time she just kind of gets that runaround that we've all had going through these. So again,
I call the critical safety line. I always get a person, and I give out that number to you guys a lot. So, I don't really care either. So if anybody ever wants that, email me, steve@ridesharerodeo.com. I'll send it to you. That gets you right through to a person, by the way. There's not even AI. There's not buttons like push 1 if you're human, push 2 if you're not. Put none of that. It goes right. A human answers. Uber, like Uber critical safety. How can I help you? And you're like, yeah, I got this problem. And literally, you could have a problem that is not at all critical safety. They'll still deal with it for you.
Right.
They do. I don't know. I mean, they're not even trained to go, dude, you have to go through the AI. They're just like, all right, I'll take care of it.
Yep.
I think they just know. They just know, like, our company is so pathetic. I'll help you out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whatever. I don't know how you got this number, but
Right, but let's just get this dealt with so I can go back to playing Tetris on my computer.
But so let's see, what is this? The
That's what I
getting
was looking
somebody
at.
on the phone doesn't help anyway because they are not empowered to. Well, yeah, I mean, I guess it depends on your problem. I mean, they're empowered to give up to a certain amount of money depending on the situation. There's usually one person at least above them, but that could require waiting. So, yeah, I mean, I'm right there with you. I get it. I think
Yeah.
you're right, but at the
Yeah,
same
I
time,
understand the sentiment of it.
yeah,
Because personally, yeah, that's what everybody feels like is, and a lot of it is again because English isn't their first language, so you lose a lot in the interpretation, and they have all these canned texts that they're told they have to operate in. So that, yeah, I see where you're coming from with that.
yeah. Um, and then what did? Oh, then we're um, so what, I was gonna ask you relating to this Chicago thing. So I know of a bunch of crap going on in Chicago legislatively through John Lopez, and he's even
Yeah,
involved in it's really crazy with the rideshare. The delivery space too, a mess, a
right.
tremendous mess right now. And in fact, obviously it's Chicago. We know they will keep these services as much as they can. But between all the lawsuits, fines, fees, and everything else that's going into place and legislation, I don't know how they're going to stay afloat. I really don't. I don't know how the companies in Chicago will stay afloat. They're going to be pounded for money. Again, here's where we are. There's going to be so much the legislation is going to put so much money on the companies, and they've
Right,
lost 2 lawsuits for tip stealing, just DoorDash alone in the state of Illinois. They just had to
right.
pay up the restaurants that they listed during the pandemic that said, no, we don't want to be on your platform. They had to settle up with all those people on a suit. I mean, like, the city hates them as much as it can help. They hate them. And so, like, and the city officials hate them. This never had to happen, I guess is my point. This is one of those
Right.
times where I say legislate. Yeah, we don't want legislation, but now we need legislation. And
Well,
that's just how it is.
the problem with this, Steve, is that the gig workers are going to be the ones that suffer come in day because one of these is going to collapse, and it's just going to screw up the entire market, and also the consumers because prices are going to increase. So this is they've got to get this under control from every piece of gig work right freaking now. And yeah, Chicago's a hot mess, and I don't think anybody knows what the answer is to fix that because fining and everything else, it's going to do is just pass the buck on to somebody else because they're going to make profits to be able to, as best they can. Sometimes it's a complete failure to do that just to make the stockholders happy.
But that's the thing. All of us, I mean, the trust me too when I say the more and more I talk to people, the more and more I just even listen to people. Everybody's aware what's going. Nobody's in the. I mean, they might not be in the no, but everybody's aware now. I
Right.
mean, I always say the customers, the drivers, the businesses, even now. But the more and more I hear, and the more and more I just listen when I'm in places, everybody's fed up with these apps. Everybody's
Yeah.
had it.
Yep.
They're sick of the people coming in. They're sick of the attitudes. They're sick of the crappy, what we talked about earlier, which, as far as I know, too, Tony, the driven dad, I'm going to give out Tony a shout because when I was talking to him today about what had happened to me, he's in my hoodie. He said the same thing. He said, he said something about like, he goes, he knows too how bad it can be, but he said, he goes, you were sure it was an illegal that pushed the phone? Because he was kind of asking if I had a front view of their face at the time or whatever.
Yeah.
And I had to reply to him because he knows as well as I do. I said, Tony, I said, when have you ever, and I'm being honest, when have you ever seen a person from Denver shove a phone in the face? And I'm being honest, I
Right.
can't remember a time I've seen somebody from here doing the apps go and not say a word. They just don't do that.
Right.
You might be going, oh,
No,
come on, some do.
because
Maybe some do. I've never seen them. The only people I see do that are the ones that don't know the language and are just demanding and pissed off and stacking in multiple orders on multiple phones. That's it.
yep.
And I think, and he instantly was like, "You're right," and he goes, "I've never seen it either." So,
Well, I mean, it's like when you texted me that about that was my immediate response. I said, and I said they probably, I said they're probably running an illegal account. The ones that I'm talking about,
yeah,
because it is what it is. I mean, stereotypes exist for a reason, in a lot of reasons, a lot of cases, and
yep.
you know, so I don't know, man. Just fix it, people.
I mean, and that's the thing. Again, this could have all the customer, the driver, the businesses could
Yeah,
have all, I'm sure it wouldn't have been perfect, but nothing in life is perfect. So we all still could have been paid a little better. They could have had a better system. Not everybody in the world hating them, but they kept pushing
right.
these legislative things on the using
Yep,
the double side of the coin for independent contractor. You're an
yep.
independent contractor when it works for us. We're a tech company when it doesn't.
When it doesn't, yep,
And that's what's going on. And it's like, you guys really shouldn't have played with fire that long. And I'm
right.
sure part of it was were getting away with it for so many years and they had lawmakers in their pockets. What
Right.
all of you need to understand, must understand, is that these lawmakers are no longer in their pockets. I'm sure they have a few, but
Well,
they
look at
don't
look at
have the arsenal they used to. They don't just get to go in and make the decisions anymore.
but look at the lawmakers that are leaving also and have left because of a whole lot of so they're losing a lot of that strength that they had in the past.
Oh yeah. And the
Pelosi's
people coming
we can
in
go from
are,
Pelosi and all the rest of them.
and this is where I'll say, let's take out the extreme right or left, but anything
Yep,
right, left, or in the middle, all the new people coming in are not down with these companies.
right,
Like they're not they're because they're looking at it like
right.
we do, and they're going, "Wait, what? Why are you
Yeah,
why are you running an illegal crime ring on an app
right.
daily?"
Yeah. I
And that's
and
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 that's
that
their
is a good
viewpoint.
thing. That is a good thing with a lot of that, Steve. I mean, there's politicians I have called out specifically here in Colorado that there's some that are still in bed, I believe, with some of these old politicians that have been running around, maybe playing mayor, looper, and some of the others. But Jennifer Willard,
But
Jenny
okay,
Willard, yeah,
not
she
to get
drives me
too
nuts, but she's
political, but
doing good
I
things
do
with
have to
that.
mention our mayor right now, right? The mayor of
Yep,
Denver right now is the worst mayor in America. I mean, Mike Johnston.
worse than LA.
I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say
Yeah,
yes
okay,
because he passed 13 LGBTQ 13 plus, which allowed people to separate from their parents, make a decision about changing sex, and then it went to other parts of the country. The Supreme Court just overruled him, or like 3 weeks ago. They said no way, and they
yeah,
were talking about this state. They said, "What the hell are you doing?" They were trying to make a precedence about no more and no more states. So that got overruled. Then he had a town hall meeting, and however many members sit on that, you usually have a split vote, right? And you count them up. He had a town hall meeting about flock drones or whatever those flock drones are that are
yeah.
basically surveilling us, is what they're doing in a constant time. Okay, so he did that. He had a town hall meeting. He had them all vote, 20 some members, all voted no drone flocks. The next
Right.
day, he said, "Well, I'm putting them in effect anyway." And he signed it
He
into
did.
law.
Right,
Guess
right,
what? He just had that taken away from him.
right.
So, as much as he does have this power and he's been flexing his muscles a lot, now he's getting everything pulled away from him. So, guys, don't give
Yeah.
up thinking that the system can't be fixed. I don't think it'll never be fixed because it's not broken. It was meant to be deceitful.
That's actually a great way to bring this all back around, Steve, is, when we talk about these legislative issues, you know, but yeah, don't give up, guys. It doesn't feel like you're making any kind of movement forward, then all of a sudden, boom, it moves forward. That's how this game works. So yeah, we all just got to keep fighting and for the causes, particularly the rideshare stuff and the other gig economy stuff that we have an interest in. Let's just keep going, guys.
Wait, Torp, what are you saying? I
I
give
don't know.
up.
That's
You know what I meant. Oh, I think you're talking about
I
above.
think it's from something up
Okay,
above. Yeah.
okay. Because I know he's not giving up. Because, and that again, though, that is the
I like
message out
Torp
to
never gives
everybody.
up.
listen, I'm talking to these people, but also like I just gave you some examples you can go look up. Go look up the Supreme Court saying, "Hey, Mike Johnston, you're an idiot, a moron, and you should have to be tortured." You know, kind of thing. Like, dude, this is not a joke anymore. The Supreme Court is coming in on a mayor ruling. A mayor passed bullshit law that was supposed to spread like wildfire across the country. Like, let your kid, if your kid is 13 years old, he is allowed to tell you, the parent, that he wants to change his sex. And if you fight him, there are people in place to remove him from your house.
Right.
I'm sorry. Like, if you are a parent, you know exactly what I'm saying right now. This is not even negotiable. That is whoever voted for this, we have some issues. Like, that's not.
Power corrupts. Absolute power corrupts absolutely, man. So,
yeah, I mean, there's just no way. But yeah, the problems are growing, but we have lawmakers that are helping. So again, guys, I mean, like, I wouldn't be wasting the time if I was like, this won't get anywhere. I've seen things get places. I've seen legislation get passed. Nothing's perfect. It never will be. But if everybody just kind of gives up, well, then understand when whatever gets 100 times worse than it is now, as much as you might want to say you can't change anything in politics and this is going to happen anyway, anything further than this is because of non-involvement. Yeah. Because if you are loud, other people will get loud. Sometimes it takes a loud person to make other people loud and go, wait a minute, I hear you. I see you over there. I hear you. Let's go. You know, and that's what needs to happen. It needs to be that people, it has to start pretty grassroots, but that's all it takes. When I was reaching out to lawmakers and stuff, that's all it took was annoying them and presenting them factual things too. I wasn't just being annoying. I have specific problems and you are my district leader kind of thing. You start at that level. And I will always say, like Sean and I tell you guys that Sean agrees with this too. Vote with your wallet always. Don't vote on any of the people, but at the same time, always start at the most local level. Federal stuff, like I'm only dealing with that because I work with people who are telling me deal with this with us. And I trust them enough to do it. Otherwise, I would have never even started with down that road because that road is messy as hell. You think state laws are a nightmare? Try this crap. But if you start at the state level, they have to listen to you. You're a constituent.
Yep.
And for every person that takes the time to make noise, they know that each representative knows there's a good amount of people like that. I guess I'll go back to the point that we've made many times. The laws in California that made AB 5 were done with such a small sample size, you guys would think it was done in Wyoming. Like literally, it was like they asked 5 people, hey, is AB 5 good? Yeah, let's just end careers for people that are independent contractors. Okay. That's how quick it happened. They didn't get it out there. Gavin Newsom, Vina Dubal, and a few others and private doors just signed it, and there it was, law done.
Yeah.
Like, even California didn't want it. And that's saying a lot. Even when they did Prop 22, the reason that Prop 22 exists is because California voted in favor of a $208 million Flex Association push saying, we're going to have to leave rideshare and leave these out of the state. And they're like, well, wait a minute. I need that service. And so both parties came together on that one and said, no, we're going to vote with these evil corporations. So you're literally forcing voters, and no matter what kind of blue, red, whatever state, you're forcing them to vote with these people.
Right.
Just saying. Can't have it all the ways all the time.
You know what, man? Sometimes things work out okay. I mean, they had that $8.5 million verdict, and I think that's where you're going to start heading towards next. Talk about the new trial coming up, right?
Yeah. So this is a big one. So the first one was it 8 or 8.5 that the first one got?
It was 8.5, that verdict on the first one.
Right. And so now we have the one in North Carolina. And even if this one loses, I still feel like it still has the steam from the first one. But I feel like if this one wins, Uber underestimated by about 100 their legal costs this year.
Right. At least, because how many did they have? I mean, there's a whole crap load of
there's a
kind of
bunch of the counted ones are just over 3,000. They say. I guess more about double.
3,000.
5 to 6 is
right.
my thing. Is my thought, but
Yeah.
because there are a lot of people will come out of the woodwork once.
Yeah.
I mean, they'll even have to go through and figure out which ones are lies. Some people will even lie.
Right.
I mean, a lot probably once they see $8.5 million settlements.
Right. Exactly. Everybody's going to be calling Frank D'Azar now.
I mean, but I just don't know what to think, because my thought is in North Carolina, you're going to get a pretty harsh verdict.
Oh,
I could be wrong, but I feel like it's not going to be much off the other one.
Yeah. No, absolutely. They're going to look at that because there's already, I mean, there's already case law with this, and sex assault, and as it shouldn't be, isn't taken very lightly once it starts hitting the courts. Once these victims do come forward, and they're validated that in the court's eyes as a true victim, it's hammer time, as it should be.
Right. And I don't even know if the last one's worth getting into, but I do remember. Here's what I wanted to say about it, because I do remember it coming up before in Florida. This happened. There was a couple insurance companies that were staging some of these Uber claims, and I hate this story because I feel like this story is what is fueling the California limit how much you can have, how much somebody in an accident a driver can use for attorney fees and stuff. That law that's in place is a nightmare, because I've talked to Bryant Greening, other people about this, and they've all said the same thing. Like, dude, that makes it so that we can't take the case, is what they've done.
Right.
For the average rideshare delivery driver.
Right. Yeah. But as a side note on all this, these cases, I mean, they're involved in staging $300 million in false crashes. And one thing I don't do. I don't put any of the trade dress, as they call it, on my car. I don't have the Uber sticker, the Lyft sticker, and stuff like that, because of assholes like this.
Yeah.
They're looking just to target, because they know you're going to have at least that 1 million, depending on where you're at anymore, because California reduced the amount of insurance that they're required to have. But they know you're at least running around with $1 million policy. So that says insurance fraud, just having that Uber or Lyft sticker in there. So that's one thing I don't comply with. Fortunately, I'm in Colorado Springs, so the airport isn't real, pushy about you having those the stickers on there. And I'll just quit going to the airport if I have to do that, because I think it's a huge security risk and safety risk from that standpoint. So,
for sure.
Yeah, it's interesting to see where this ends up going.
So you guys, I know most of you have, but if you haven't, especially here on YouTube, but I know from the numbers, and I'm going to show Sean after we're done, the numbers, because right now we're still running 70 people watching right now across the platforms. So what I will say to everybody first is, wherever you listen to podcasts, go find the Rideshare Zone, because not everybody's on YouTube. So let me address the audio podcast listeners and the LinkedIn and the X people. Sean has his podcast up on anywhere now. It should be like my podcast. Yep. You can go to any player and you'll find it. So go find it there. For you on YouTube, go over and give him a sub. It's at CO Ride Guy. I don't know why I think it's such a big deal that I get it. I think it's because for 10 times in a row I got it wrong. So.
You got it wrong. It was more than 10, but who's counting?
But yeah, go give Sean a sub. I think a lot of you already have, obviously.
I would appreciate it. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I mean, he's getting legs on his channel a lot quicker than than I remember a lot of people did. A lot quicker than even I did. I mean, sometimes it takes some while. So, but if you can, if you don't mind, go over anything that's free. We should all be able to do. If you want to unsubscribe to somebody later, you can do what you want to do, but go over and help a guy out when it doesn't involve money. It's easy. You know,
throw a guy a bone, please.
yeah.
Yeah, thank you. I
Especially
appreciate that.
the honest people on YouTube, and Sean's one of them. Like,
Yeah,
we deal with a lot of not honest people, and that's why Torp is here sometimes.
not because Torp's dishonest, but because he goes after.
Oh, right. No. I'm saying,
yeah, I know.
yeah, he knows too. Like, I'm just saying, like, that's why
Yeah.
he's here. He's here to let you, some of you new people or whatever, know that, hey, you might not find what you're looking for in that pot of gold that isn't gold.
Right. Torp says, loud is my space on YouTube, and I'm lucky I fight for truth tellers. So.
Yeah, see? So you guys, I think that's it for the week. We ran about the perfect time. That hour 15 is benchmark. So check out Sean's channel. Sean, thanks for joining. Everybody, thanks for joining. All the platforms, thanks for joining. And until next time, be safe, be smart, and you know, game on, dude. Like, you know, get on a bunch of apps and work the smartest you can. Try and optimize your time out. I've been working at this a lot lately with my dog and having to come home. Optimize that time you're on the road. Make sure that it's a time you can earn good, because I don't know your market. You know your market. Make sure go out in those windows. Don't sit out there for 15 hours. You don't need to.
No. Nope.
You know, and it's worth it to, even if you need to put in a day like that, learn it so that you can chunk out a couple spaces during the day. And even if it's just to go home and decompress for a little bit.
Yep.
I know that doesn't work for everybody, but if you can make that work, it's much better than sitting out there and going nuts.
You feel much more productive. Yeah.
Yeah. So with that said, that's a wrap for the week, guys. We will see you back here next time. Have a great week.
All right, y'all.
Peace.